Welcome back to Jordan Shorty Jacks. I was talking with a friend of mine, my friend David Jones' son. If you've seen in my last video, David, he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But his son, Mason Jones, we talk a lot. It's kind of like a little nephew to me. He's in his late 20s. And we're talking, and he says to me, Jim, he goes, how do you do it? He goes, I just don't understand how you do it. And I asked him, do what? And it's like, how you do what you do with your dogs. How do you know what to do, and how do they turn out good? I don't understand. And we talked for a while, and I was trying to explain a little bit of this stuff to him, and I finally realized that he was wanting me to tell him how to do it because he was expecting to be able to understand and learn it now, because he was wanting to get instant gratification. Like it's not something that you can tell someone how to do, you know, in 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. So, you know, I told him, I said, it's like a ladder, Mason. I said, you can't go out there and pretend that you know everything because you heard someone say it, or you know someone that's done it. I said, you take yourself a 20-foot ladder, lean it up against a big old tree like this on this soft dirt, and you may climb up there, get halfway, and that ladder may fall down on you, you know, or you're trying to take an elevator to get up there, and you have no way to, you don't know how you got there other than it was fast, and you don't know what you're doing. You didn't learn anything. So you start at the bottom of that ladder, and you make sure that you have solid ground that you're standing on, and put your ladder on that, and don't try to skip steps. There's going to be no instant gratification. You need to do research. You know, you need to recognize animal behavior. You need to learn when they're sick, learn some veterinarian skills, stewardship. You're going to be dealing with bacterias. You know, my dog looks sick, what's wrong with them? You know, their health, genetics, type, standard for the breed that you're dealing with. And you know, you wear a lot of hats when you do this, and if you're starting out wanting to do something like that, breed dogs, you start on solid ground, and you're building your foundation. You do your research, decide what it is that you're going to do. Can I afford to do it? Oh, a C-section, $3,000 to $7,000 if it happens to you. Hopefully it doesn't. There's lots of things that come up. Your losses are building character. Your steps to getting somewhere at your own pace. You know, you go out once you've decided, okay, and you've done some research and you found somebody. Well, how do I get a mentor? You know, I said, they're not out there waving their hand, I'm your mentor, pick me. You get out there and you socialize and speak with a lot of breeders while you're tracking the dogs that you want, that you have your own goal and your own purpose. You know, you're not doing it for somebody else. So someone that's been doing it for all these years, and they're way up here, and you're like, I just want to be up there with them. Like, you can't be there, all right? Yeah, you know, you got to start at ground zero. You know, I said, don't be in a hurry to get up here. That what they're doing and where they're at has no reflection on your potential and your journey. That's their journey. This is your journey, and you do you. You're not doing it for somebody else. Don't compare your success and where you're at. You focus on your goals, you know, and you're going to make mistakes, and you'll learn from more of your mistakes than you will your wins. You know, that's what builds that character. That's what makes you keep researching. You're like, why'd that happen? You know, and if you're climbing that ladder and one of the rungs on that ladder breaks, now you got to climb back down. There was something you did wrong or skipped something. And so now you got to repair that, back up, repair it, make it strong, healthy, and do it again before you can proceed to go up your ladder. You know, set high standards, small steps. You know, it's like building a puzzle without all its pieces and never being able to complete your goal because you were skipping steps, skipping around. You got in a hurry. You know, the satisfaction and applause comes when you see your own success. You know, it's not, no one's looking over your shoulder. You're going to meet people out there that, you know, the way you find your mentor is when you're getting out there and you're engaging with other breeders and people, someone you resonate with, someone that's not like, this is what you need to do. They can't tell you what to do. It's someone that says, well, this is what I would do, so that you can decide for yourself what you need to do. Nobody knows what dogs you're working with. They don't know your genetics. They don't know what you're breeding. The authority over your program and your dogs, nobody knows them better than you do. They're yours. So they can't tell you, you know. Some people, they don't even know their own genetics and what they're working with. They're just playing the genetic lottery. I'll breed these two, you know. Oh, it didn't work, you know. And that's what you need to do, is focus on yourself, and you'll find a mentor. They won't even know they're your mentor. They become your mentor. They're counseling you know, opinions. Everybody's got, oh, I'd get rid of that dog. They don't know why you have that dog and its purpose that it serves in your program to improve something. You know, if you're always looking at your dogs like they're perfect, you can't see the flaws. It's not that there's something wrong with them. There's no such thing as a perfect dog. There's always something that can be perfected, you know, improved upon is the word. You know, might be in temperament, might be an angle, might be a companion, might be health, could be anything. There's always something that can be improved. And no one can train your eye for what you need to see. If you can't see your dog and see its improvements, how are you going to match up a dog that complements it real well? Because you're looking for a dog that has those things, that has what you think you need improved upon. It has it. For when you breed it, you can acquire those traits or characteristics to improve that dog. There's always room for improvement, because when you improve that, you might have lost a little bit of something somewhere else, you know. So now you got to go over here. Like, man, I need to get that back. Take it back to my line. You know, there's so many different ways of doing things, but the focus is what you need to pay attention to is there's no instant gratification. There's no one single perfect dog. It's the dog that's perfect for you with what you're doing, of what you like. And you go and you find it, and you build upon that, and you work towards improving, making them better. What is it that you like about the dog? What is it you need them to do? What is the standard? Work within all those things, and make sure they're healthy. You know, if you're gonna do line breeding, you darn sure need to make sure they're healthy. You don't want to lock that stuff into your line of genetics, because then you're gonna have unhealthy dogs. But yeah, you climb the ladder and you get all the way up to find out that the ladder never stops. You just keep on going, building relationships, building your foundation for yourself, learning along the way, improving your craft, getting better. These people that trust to tell you, oh, I'd get rid of that, oh, I'd do this. You don't, you know, it's kind of noisy, you know, when they do that. Because they don't know. So, but you still got to get out there and have those conversations, learn from people that have experience, that's been doing it, been there, done it. And those people will explain to you, well, this is what I did, this is what I've experienced, this didn't work for me, you know, and you funnel out the things that don't apply to you as far as like opinions, because everybody's got them. You know, that a lot of times they can't see their own flaws in their own dogs, but they can see them in yours. And what they call like kennel blindness. But you just have to focus on what you're doing and do it with integrity. You know, what does that mean? It means you're being transparent, you're being authentic, you're being you, you're doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. You're doing the right thing for what you're doing. You know, don't be selling snake oil, acting like you know something because somebody told you and it got passed down to you. I had this conversation with someone where they were like, well, should I sell this male dog as a stud, or should I neuter him and send him off to a pet home because he didn't produce anything for me? And I'm like, well, how do you know that dog won't benefit someone else's program? Well, I bred him to 3 of my females and he didn't produce nothing, so I know he's not going to produce for them. Well, maybe it's not the quality of dog that you thought he was, or maybe your females aren't. Maybe he just hasn't been matched up with the right dog. Yeah, you can't determine that someone else's dogs, he's not going to better their program. But you know, that's the choices and the way some people look at stuff. You know that my you know, it's like you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to take your time, apply yourself, do the work, do it with integrity, do it ethically, and build yourself to build your program, and a reputation will follow. And your success for what you're doing will be gauged off your own improvements. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to take risks. Not everybody does everything the same. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody sees the same. So be true to yourself, and that's what I have for you today.